So I wanted to thank you for coming on. Obviously, I'm a big fan of you. I'm a big fan of your comedy. And I kind of want to get right into like when you started your career, you went to Chicago. Why'd you decide to go to Chicago? Because you grew up in Missouri, right?
Yeah. Well, years ago, when you wanted knowledge, you'd read a book. So 1975 was the debut of Saturday Night Live, and I was a big fan. Now, I started watching the show because I used to babysit my younger brothers and sisters. I'm the third of six kids. So I'm 13 years old. I'm babysitting my younger three brothers and sisters. My parents used to regularly go out dancing on Saturday nights. Well, that's nice and cute, isn't it? And so I would babysit them, and they'd go to bed. Now, Missouri, SNL came on at 10:30. So I'd get the kids to bed. So, because I was going to watch this show. Like, I saw it coming up, and like, this is different. And they did live commercials for it too. And I didn't say a word to my parents, because had I told them about that show, there's no way I would have been allowed to watch it. Right? My parents were very strict about what you could and couldn't watch. And so I watched that show, and I was like, holy shit. And after, that first year, I was like, I want to be on that show. Now I'm in Tipton, Missouri, 2,000 people. Small towns are wonderful places for some people, but they're also places that, you don't necessarily tell people your dreams. Why? People love to shit on dreams.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have them. If they don't have a dream, like, I don't have a dream, well, then I'll shit on yours. So I didn't tell people about it. I just kept it. I'm like, I'm going to go do that. And I knew it. I never left that idea. And then, but when it came time to go to college, I'd never met a theater major. I didn't know what that was. There was one play a year at the high school. That's all there was. There wasn't performances everywhere. There was, we didn't go see anything. So I had no idea how a person went and did something like that. So then I went to college. I was a poli-sci major because I wanted to help people. I didn't know that politicians aren't there to help people.
They're there to get bribed.
They're there to, they're there to
lobbied.
No, to get bribed. They're there to eventually make money or get somebody that they know on a board where they make. Let's just face it, they're all corrupt. It tells you that I was a poli-sci major.
Yeah.
And, so after about 3 years of that, I'm like, oh, because you're either if you're not going to be a politician, you're going to be a lawyer or a teacher. No thanks. Now, by this time in my life, I'd read all the books about Saturday Night Live. And I realized, they all started at Second City. Not all of them, but I'll just say these, all the good ones did. And anyway, that's not true either. A lot of the greats. So I was like, Second City. So I went and visited Second City, saw that they taught classes. I was like, oh, that's how. I mean, when you look back at it from where you and I are sitting right now, because that information is 2 keystrokes away, right?
Yeah.
You literally just write down Second City. I guess it's more 2 keystrokes, but you're not going to hold me to that.
No.
But, so yeah, I read a lot of books like Second City. So I went and saw a show, saw they taught classes, went back to Columbia, Missouri, which is where I was then taking classes, or no longer. I'd stopped going to school. And then I saved my money, moved to Chicago, and that was it.
And what was it like working under Del Close? And Del Close, for those who don't know, he is, sort of the mastermind behind Second City and came up with a great improv style. What was it like learning from him directly?
Yeah, for the those that don't know, so Del was one of the early members of the Second City. And then, like most things, you stay there for a while, then you move on. He moved on, had a somewhat, he had a career, mostly theater, not a lot of TV, not a lot of Hollywood. And then he was kicking around there, and nothing much was going on for him. But there's this guy he was just brilliant. And so then Sharna Halpern hired him as a teacher. because he needed to make money. Now, little did we know that this guy was going to revolutionize improvisation, because improvisation used to be these short little scenes and then that's it. Sometimes they're dumb, sometimes they were silly, but Dell's insistence was, look, comedy is important. It's as important as religion. There is truth in comedy, and that's what makes it funny. So get up there and tell the truth about whatever it is. Respond honestly, truthfully in the scene. It's going to do two things. It's going to give you plenty of material, and it's going to draw the audience in. Because I'm not just looking at some guy's mind, my person's mind, no matter how facile it might be. Some are fascinating, but I want something with meat on the bone. Let's explore something, right? That, examines the human condition. By going up and telling your truth makes it more interesting. And then he was able to develop what was long-form improvisation successfully. First guy could do it. You might do a long scene, but it's going to go up and down, have varying degrees of success. He created long-form games, if you will, or long forms that allowed a full hour of entertainment based only on improvisation, because he was able to sew together, find a way to stitch together scenes that were only a minute and a half long that could go away and then have a chance to come back, which had never been done before. So you and I do a minute and a half scene. That's the last you're ever going to see of it. Dell developed a thing called the Herald. So this scene goes for a minute and a half. Then there's another scene, another scene, another scene. Now your scene, our scene can come back later in time or go back in time. But we're going to have a chance to explore that scene again, which makes the entire proposition a lot richer. And from that, it spawned innumerable improvisational forms. So basically, whatever you see going on improvisationally now, long form wise, Del Close.
Yeah. And you come from a big family. I also I'm one of 12. I think you're one of 6.
No
right?
shit. Kind of Catholic, are you?
Oh, yeah. Catholic. You
Which
got
one
it.
Are you?
Which one am I?
Yeah.
Like which flavor of Catholic?
Which number in the family?
Oh, I'm 2 of 12. So
You're
1 of 6.
You're the oldest. You raised the other fucking kids.
I changed. You know what? The worst part is I changed so many diapers, and I mentioned that on my podcast, and my mom said, "You never changed a diaper." I was like, "Oh my God." It's impossible. Second oldest to not change a diaper. It's impossible.
There's no way.
No way.
You did. I only had 6. No. After a while, after you stick your brother and sister, the people don't understand what it was like to change a diaper. Of course, you're younger.
No, I know what you're going with, though. The diaper pins.
Yes, you had to have diaper pins, exactly. And people don't even know what a diaper pin is.
I grew up on, I was changing the washable diapers, the reusable diapers.
Yes.
Yeah, with the pins and the whole deal.
Yeah, they got put in, I'm trying to find one. I know I've got one. I know you'd have to put them in the diaper pail.
Yep.
Not the thing that throw them out, the diaper pail. And then they get washed, and then they get dried, and then they get folded, and then they get used again. And when they were done with all that, they became a rag in the house.
Yes. Yeah. I grew up. Yeah. When you go get the rag, it's just an old diaper that's been shat in countless times. Yep. The life cycle of a reusable diaper.
Yep. It's sturdy and absorbent. But stuff like that, like you don't need, we didn't have paper towels.
No.
What? That's a waste of money.
Absolutely. Not when you got an old diaper that's past its moment of being something you could crap in.
Right. It's something you wipe stuff up with.
Yeah. Yeah. Or it's an old shirt that's been cut into 5 different pieces.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Less absorbent. But, if you need to polish something, maybe use that shirt. But that's so true. Everything was used and reused until it fell apart and fine. Now we just throw everything away, filling up all the trash bins. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's not sustainable. What we're doing right now is not sustainable for many, many reasons. Whether it's global warming and all that, which, is obviously true. That's not even an argument, but just everything that we're doing is not sustainable. I was watching a documentary the other day on the making of the interstate highway system. That's the shit I like for fun. Anyway, when you think about that, well, that created so much more global warming too. Is there any reason that you have to get from here to Chicago or blah, blah, blah? I mean, you want to, and it creates a certain different kind of commerce, which is all good. But then, it also creates these things that are unnecessary.
Yeah. I mean, I think had we invested in trains, that would have been a little easier.
Trains only.
Yeah. I mean, even now, I live in a state where we turned down train funding money. I don't know why. It was some political thing. They turned it Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah. They turned it down. Yeah. They're awesome. I enjoy it. Well, the Amtrak could be awesome. I think it's got a lot of benefits. I ride it a lot. I enjoy it, but I don't mind driving by train. I guess that's what I'm saying. But
it'd be more efficient. By now, we would have bullet trains everywhere.
That's what
the rails would be kept up better, so you wouldn't have these disasters. There'd be more regulation. People want to rail against regulation. Oh, the problem in this country is there's too much regulation. Really? Tell the people from Palestine, Ohio, there's too much regulation. They cut regulations. Now these people are all going to get cancer.
Yeah.
No, I don't have opinions.
I was going to say, well, do you think being from a big family, how did that influence your comedy, specifically your improv work?
Great question. Well, being the third of six, you're going to want attention. So that probably started it. I do look back, and that's probably it.
Yeah.
But also caused me to get in trouble in school because I wanted attention because I was doing comedy. Mm-hmm. Improvisationally, I think that just comes naturally, or I don't know that you're drawn to it any other way other than you just are naturally funny. You're looking for an outlet, and then you find it. In your own house, I'm just there being a pain in the ass more than anything else. There wasn't like there was a troop of players there in my family.
Right. So your siblings don't follow in your footsteps comedically.
My oldest brother has done some clowning.
Oh, nice. Like professional clown?
No, just in town for events, whatever.
Nah.
I don't think he's put the clown costume on in a couple of years.
You come from a small town in the Midwest. How did that influence your comedic voice, if at all?
Well, of course it does. That's all we have is that voice that we grew up with. So my characters are very specific to people that I have grown up with, and it's a different perspective, and they have a different outlook on life. And you're, I guess, philosophically, I would think that perhaps I had more time to see particular people that maybe I wouldn't have seen as often if I was in a city, because you're going to meet more people all the time. But now you're stuck with this particular group of people. So I'm guessing whether you're thinking about it or not, you're studying them. So you're picking up all types of different behaviors or witnessing behaviors or seeing things that you think are just normal till years later. And you're like, wow, that wasn't. But what is normal anyway, right? So, yeah, of course it influenced it to a particular degree. I mean, we're all going through our experience of what it was, and then you just put it out there. And then, by God, wouldn't you know, my experience plays the same way it did for some kid growing up in Milwaukee. Like, well, yeah, I know a guy like that.
Right.
A guy like that and a gal like that is everywhere.
Yeah, and you get so specific with it. Like I saw you doing, I think it was on Conan, maybe it was the character that you were talking to your kids with. If they were mad at you, you talked to
T-Bones. Yes.
Yeah. And that was from the comedy troupe you were doing. So, I mean, who was the guy that influenced that? Will you tell?
That was a guy that came through town one summer. I was working at my uncle's gas station, beer joint, restaurant. Swear to God. 2 gas pumps out front. It was a beer joint, and they served burgers and steaks and tenderloin sandwiches and whatever, soda, all that stuff. So you could be grilling a burger, right?
Yeah.
Now, in the old days, folks, there was not self-serve. You wouldn't pump your own gas. In the old days, which is not that long ago, someone had to go outside and pump the gas for the person. And there was a black hose that ran across the area where the gas pumps was. That was called an air hose, but it would also, if you passed over it, it would force a bell to ring.
Ding, ding.
Ding, ding, yes. Yeah. So I'd be in there grilling burgers. Ding, ding. I've got to go out, fill up this tank of gas, take his money or her money, go back, this is before credit cards, pay them the cash and change, run back to that grill, dip my hands in the, not dishwasher, because we didn't have one, in the 2 sinks that had soap and water. They're a little bit in the soap, rinse it, flip the burger, and finish that goddamn thing. Can you imagine the sanity?
No.
I mean, not the insanity, but it wasn't very clean.
Yes. Yeah. I'm trying to think of that word too.
I know I said it wrong.
Sanitary. Yeah, sanitation. Sanitary. That's it. Well, so you're working there. You're cooking burgers, you fill gas.
One summer. Yeah. The summer I was working there, you just see all kinds of characters. There's a guy that came through, really bushy-haired, kind of quiet, kept to himself, not a drinker, but an oddball. Played pinball, played pool by himself. Then he would hang out at the four-way. So the four-way of this small town I lived in, the main drag, two small highways. At that corner was the only stoplight. It was a blinking red light, not a full stoplight, which means if you miss the stop signs, hey, dummy, it's a stoplight. Anyway, around that stoplight was a telephone pole. Now, it was a corner, and plenty of people must have run into that telephone pole. So as they would do in the old days, they would put up a fence around that pole made of shortened off telephone poles and other, 8x10 wood. So it's a strong enough structure to knock down that pole. So George, who's the guy that came through town, George was a roofer. And so he was only in town doing a couple of barns with some crew. Then he was going on to the next. He would hang out right there on that four-way in that little wooden box area, right? Like that was his entertainment. So he got the moniker Four-Way George. He was there that summer. Four-Way George would be the kind of guy that would buy beer for underage kids, right?
Okay.
He did have a good purpose.
Would they pay him, or was this just his kindness showing?
No kindness. Listen, if you're in your early 20s and some 16-year-old wants you to go buy a beer, 16-year-old doesn't know the price of a 6-pack of beer.
Right.
Back then, it was under $2. So, you give him a $5 bill, you get a 6-pack, you don't get change.
Yeah.
Probably buys himself his own 6-pack. That's the juice, bro. Enjoy your 6-pack. So anyway, Four-Way George got that name, and he was just an odd guy. And I talked to him there at the restaurant when he would sit and have a beer. Not a beer, sorry, he didn't drink. When he'd sit there and have a burger. And he was a roofer, and he'd done some carny work. And he'd been all kinds of things, and he didn't seem 30. He may have been mid-20s, but he was out there on his own. You know what I mean? Traveling the world. I don't remember where he's from or where he's going. He was just going wherever the next roof was to build, right? So he's kind of the one that Gerald Tibbins is based on. Yeah.
And he's never, in the years that you've been doing that, he's never reached out to you or anything. And
oh God, he wouldn't know.
He wouldn't. Okay. So
his name was George. The character I'm doing, his name's Gerald. They don't talk exactly the same, and they look a lot different. Because Four-Way George was more, I'm a roofer. I'm a roofer out of town. And the local constable, I guess, got word that he was buying kids beer and wanted to run him out of town.
Oh,
just because he's a drifter. Small towns. Who's this drifter? The guy was just a sweet guy. Listen here, Tommy wants to come at me with a gun. He can come at me with a gun because I got razors. And I'm like, what do you have? Razors. So he had like a single razor blade in his pocket. And I thought to myself, because I'm 15, going, that doesn't seem like a good strategy. The police officer pulls out a gun. You're going to pull it out a little straight razor. And then what goes down? You get shot?
Yeah. Maybe he'll open a box before he gets shot. Something like that.
Yes. It was the internet like, we're doing an unboxing. I'll put my gun away. Now look what the state of entertainment is. All right?
Yeah.
Everything we've talked about, blah, blah, blah. People get 100, 200,000 subscribers to watch somebody open a box of shit they got that they don't need.
Yeah.
It's Tuesday. I got an unboxing. Today I got shoes. Let's have a look. Let's see. It's from really? It's crazy. Yeah.
And also there are those who like the sound of the unboxing.
Is that right?
ASMR. Yeah, they like the cutting. And so they get these nice microphones that really get the cutting of the box and everything. ASMR videos. Have you seen those? Have you heard those? I have not. Oh, it'll change your life and not for the better. But yeah, people love those videos.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't quite understand it. But you know what? To each their own. I'm not here to kink shame anyone who likes watching people and listening to them open a box. But
I'm not going to shame them. I'm going to ask them, though, is this the best use of your time?
No, I think I can answer that. No.
Right.
Yeah, imagine if all that brain energy that went into opening boxes went into sucking carbon out or getting the plastic out of the oceans. We'd have a different place,
I read 2 weeks ago, it's now in our blood.
Well, it's in all the water. It's in the air.
But it's been found in human blood now.
That's wild. I'm going to have to read that article. I was waiting for a reason to be more, to get depressed today. So that is cool. Thank you. Yeah, we accomplished that.
Well, we don't have to be depressed. Here's the hardest thing for me to do. And I read it. It may be from the Stoics, but only speak of your joys. Now that's a hard thing to do because I bitch a lot because that's what comics do, right?
Yeah.
You can go through your day and only speak of your joys. Now, the joy of having that little dog. But what did I do? I had to complain about that dog's going to shit somewhere. Probably already went upstairs and shit. Because it came downstairs going like, well, you're going downstairs. You're the dumbest guy in this house. Because now the kids seem to respect what you say or do. Maybe you're going to take me outside. No? Well, I guess I'll go upstairs and shit where I normally shit. That's what's weird about that dog. You know what I mean?
I love
the big dogs shit outside. Yeah. We all go outside. I sit and watch you dogs like I'm some kind of predator, which is a new comedy I'm trying to work on. And there I do that. Then the dog shit. You see, you learn from the other dogs. The other dogs just took a shit. You wouldn't even put your nose in it. That's right. No? Let's go inside. 5 minutes later, there's shit upstairs. Swear to God. That happened this morning. I'm like, wow.
My favorite part about this whole story is how you started it. Let's talk about our joys, like this dog. Now, I started talking about it, and then you went right back to the dog shitting on your carpet, So
what's the joy in that? The joy is I have something to learn. Like the joy would be, I would be so much more joyful with more patience and understanding, or if I could really pay more attention to that dog, certainly more to that dog than the attention I pay my children. And I would go, time to shit. But whatever.
You win some, you lose some carpeting. That's how it goes.
But I will say the joy was this, but I'm happy if it shits on the hardwoods.
Yeah, that's true.
My youngest daughter, who was 12, that's her dog. And the dog loves her. The dog follows her everywhere. And I know that she loves it so much because, that's the only dog that follows her out the house. Like when she's leaving in the morning, that dog starts running like, where are you going? But that's a pretty good one. So, if for no other reason than that, I'll take all the shit in the world. If my daughter, is smiling all the way to school because her dog is, as far as she knows, waiting at that door for her to get back home. So,
oh man, well, you know what? I'm tearing up too. You really found the joy right there. We had to go through some shit, but we found the joy.
There usually is some joy on the other side of a pile of shit. Huh? Oh fuck! All right.
Yeah, you got to go. Real quick, where are you playing when you come to Wisconsin? Milwaukee Improv, right?
Milwaukee Improv. We've got at least 5 shows, right? Do we have 6 that weekend? Hold on, let me look. I'll show you my board.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Whoa, look at that.
So what are we looking at? March 16, 17, 18, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the Improv. Thursday, 7:30. Friday, 7:30 and 9:45. Trivia is that night. That's St. Patty's Day.
Oh, in Wisconsin. What were you thinking?
I was thinking. But it might be genius because when people come to the office trivia show, they're focused.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not there to fuck around. So these guys know what they're doing. They've made a good choice. So shows are 7:30 Thursday and Friday. The late show, 9:45 Friday night, is office trivia with the real Todd Packer. It's a fun show. If you love The Office, and there are millions of you, you're not going to be disappointed. I host it as Todd Packer. There's audience interaction. There's prizes. We have a good time. Then Saturday, you got 2 shows, 7 and 9:30. And maybe
awesome.
I'll tell more dog stories.
Yeah, I feel like you got a big bit there. I'm excited.
I do have a new bit about dogs that, did it ever occur to you when you're out there what dogs are thinking, which would be, hey, let me ask you something. Does your human watch you pee? I mean, come on, dude. Can I get a second here? Just trying to, and God forbid I pinch one off. Does your human do this? When you pinch one off, right? It's right there in the ground where they want you to put it, right? Because they don't let you shit in the house. Then he comes and picks it up. What kind of weirdo is he? And then I never see it again. What do they do with all our shit? Do you ever think about that one?
And that's why our dogs run away.
That's right. Anyway, that's the new thing I'm working on.
I love it. Well, good luck at the Improv. I am going to be out of town. Otherwise, I'd come see you. I'm bummed I'm going to miss you. But
no, I'm not doing it.
Well, okay. Well, you still should. Okay. But, okay. That's your choice.
Yes. Well, God bless. Hey, man, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. From one mass-produced person to another,
That's true. We're just from the assembly line fucking changing diapers. Oh, my God. God bless you, baby. Do you have kids?
I don't.
Here's the only thing I'll say that lets me know that I may have done something okay. Because I have 5. That's a lot.
That is.
Each one of my kids say they're going to have 4. I'm like, why would you? But that means, to me, it means this. I didn't screw it up so much. Because otherwise they go, I'm never having children.
Right.
Because if they said that means they didn't have a good childhood.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you gave them a good childhood. That is that's what that says. That's what matters, man. And I can tell with that dog story, you love them to death. So
I'm just waiting to tell 1 or 2 of them, hey, childhood's over. Move on.
You'll get there.
All right. God bless
you,
man.
Talk soon. Much. God bless you too. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.